We got Gerald says if Hooker is healthy, they should have him at least third quarterback spot. Let him at least get reps at practice. Look, if he's healthy, 100% healthy, I think he would be the number 3. But I don't know. I think they're going to take their time with him. I don't know exactly how they're do it here. Like he may not be practicing maybe until week 1 or something like that if they do it. So it's just more on what their plan is for his health. So we just got to be patient with that. Teddy could go 4-1, 3-2 if Goff goes down. Sudfeld can go 0-4 or 0-5, right? Yeah, I think Teddy Bridgewater is a big jump as a backup role, and compared to Nate Sudfeld, Teddy Bridgewater actually has starting experience. He's actually played a significant amount of snaps in the NFL. Nate Sudfeld has not. Even though Sudfeld's doing good in training camp, I prefer somebody that's done it on the field during game time. That's just my thing. That's my thing.
Oh, yeah. Sudfeld's not going to win you games. He's like Chase Daniel. In fact, Chase Daniel's probably better than him, which kind of says all you want to really about that. You've got to have a guy who can command the offense well enough and pass well enough to complement a run game. You can't just run the ball all the time. You've got to have a guy who can give you that element of surprise, who can make good throws. And Teddy has been a starter on multiple teams. He has longevity in this league as a starter. And, it's kind of injuries that have more done for Teddy rather than form or anything like that. He will be miles better than Sudfeld. That is what we need this year. I'm not having us getting 5 weeks into the year, been like 3-2, 4-1, Goff getting injured and then just been told at the end of the year when we've lost out, oh, it happens. I'm like, sorry, no. This is our year. The window is open for the Lions now to establish superiority in the NFC North. You've got to have all eventualities covered. Teddy covers the biggest question on this team in terms of personnel, which is the backup quarterback and whether we can win with one. It has to be done.
What if you win a playoff game and Goff gets hurt afterwards? Would you install Hooker? First off, that would be just absolutely terrible luck. Lions win a playoff game, and there goes Jared Goff, and we got to bring in Hendon Hooker. Oh, I would definitely take Hendon Hooker over Nate Sudfeld. That's not even a question because he's mobile too as well. He's a mobile quarterback. I think he's better. But my God, that would be a horrible scenario because you want Jared Goff in there. You don't want to have the rookie playing in a playoff game. Oh my God, that would just be brutal. That would be brutal, Ant-Man.
It would. I mean, it depends. If you're saying, would I install Hooker if I had Bridgewater on the team? No. Would I install Hooker if it was Sudfeld on the team? Absolutely.
Yeah,
I would. But that would ideally be a scenario that I wouldn't want to do. And again, it's with Hendon. He's got so much to learn. This offense that we run here is like the furthest iteration of an offense away from what he ran at Tennessee. It's so much different. All the intricacies, the nuances of what you're doing, it's really hard to pick up. And in this case, it's more, you would prefer to have veteran hands behind it just to be able to, again, you can win it. You're relying on your ground game. Your ground game can go win it for you. You just need someone to come in and be able to do it right. I wouldn't, but if it's against Sudfeld, then I would.
Hashtag go Lions here. I heard Shane Zylstra is hurt. How long is he out? What do we do with his position now? Well, first off, he's going to be out approximately 6 months. Probably for the whole year. What are they going to do with the position? I don't think he was making the 53-man roster anyways. So it would have been a practice squad guy. So I think it's going to be I think it's going to be Brock Wright. I think it's going to be James Mitchell and obviously Sam Laporta. I think those are the 3 tight ends anyways. So I think the only thing that hurts is him going to the practice squad if there's an injury. Other than that, I don't think he was making the team. That's just my personal opinion.
He'd have been on the practice squad, I reckon. He's that reliable, dependable guy you can call up from the practice squad if your tight end room is dinged up and you need somebody. And that's where it's going to hurt us the most. If a couple of the frontline guys get hurt, then the depth is not going to be as great on that practice squad as what it could have been. So I agree. I don't think he was going to make it, but man, it's just rough.
I mean, wasn't Purdy a rookie last year? Absolutely. And that was something that was extremely rare to happen. A huge shout out to the 49ers and Purdy himself. we just don't want to be put in that position. Let's just Jared Goff stay healthy. Don't need to be put in that position because Goff will give you the best chance to win this year. I'm not even. Look, I love Hendon Hooker. I've talked about him. You've talked about him. We've talked about him immensely even before the draft, way before the draft. But you're talking about a rookie versus a veteran. I'm going to take the veteran, especially in a playoff scenario where Jared Goff has been there, and that's where you're putting a rookie at. Oh, first game? Oh, that'd be rough.
And you got to remember, that game where Purdy got hurt, he was getting murdered before he got hurt. He was not having a good game at all with the 49ers when that happened. Now, obviously, in the regular season, anything can happen. Purdy, that was maybe his one and only shot at doing it. So you just go out there, free, confident, not under pressure. And again, the 49ers, that run offense, it takes so much pressure off a quarterback. And I'm not using that to have a go at what Purdy's done. I'm just saying, schematically, that's the perfect scheme for a rookie quarterback because Shanahan goes by his run offense and makes it so easy for his young quarterbacks to be able to slot in and do what he needs them to do. Whereas, it's not like that everywhere. Here, we do run the ball a lot, but we need a guy who can competently throw it on the reg as well. So I just think it's different scheme. It's different scenarios there with him. Again, I'm not ragging on Hooker. I want him to be healthy. And that's the most important. I don't want to rush him back. I don't want to rush him out there before he's ready up here, which he will be. He will be there eventually. I just don't want to rush him. Because if you rush him, then you could just completely and utterly, it could blow up in your face.
Hooker to JMO is the future. Hooker's arm is outstanding. Deep ball is way better. He does got a really good arm. And if he can scramble too, that would open up a JMO if they wanted to do that down the road without Jared Goff. For sure, don't trust a Hooker in Vegas, Warren. Sapp said that one. Sewell is our tight end number 4. Hey, Sewell's our wide receiver number 4.
Sewell's wide receiver 1 on the Bears.
I know he's 1 on the bench. Penei Sewell is wide receiver 1. Maybe he could be quarterback 1 at some point too, and cornerback, and all sorts of stuff. Misty says, "Woo, Kabinda is our tight end 4." Right now, yeah, I mean he's like in that position. He's looking to get that tight end spot or running back spot or fullback, whatever they use him as. Misty, you're 100% correct, and yeah, shout out to Misty Locke for that one. What do you think about Kabinda?
Dan loves Kabinda, and we know if any head coach in the NFL is still going to use a fullback, it's Dan. That's the sort of football he likes to play. And Kabinda, the thing with Kabinda, which makes him, for me, not a guy who we're going to get rid of instantly, he's a good receiver as well. He's got a good pair of hands on him. He's got touchdowns. But he is very versatile as a fullback. And they said he's been training with the tight ends. So you can see there's certainly a plan for him. And Dan talked about him the other day. He said, we wouldn't keep a fullback if we don't think he can do everything that is required for us. And he preceded this by saying, with the injury with Kabinda, the injury has not hindered him. And before that injury, Kabinda could do everything that he wanted him to. So he's insinuating that Kabinda is healthy and is the player that he was before the injury. So he's going to... I think he's got a fighting chance of being on this roster. I just think that the fullback adds a unique aspect to the offense, and you do need to keep one around it. It all depends on who he's fighting with. Is it running back 4, wide receiver 7? Do they hold more intrinsic value to this team than he does? They're going to have to be really good, those guys, to get in front of Kabinda, I think.
We're going to extend Goff after this year. He's QB1. It's possible they could. I think I'm glad that they're waiting. At least that's what I think they're going to do, because we don't know how this season's going to play out. And we think it's going to be a good year. But it's very possible they could. If he comes out and blows up and replicates last year or even better, for sure you could see that. Bugs been training with him also. Bugs, man. Yeah, Bugs is doing great. I love Bugs as a rotational player, Misty. I definitely do. Detroit Left says, hey, Misty, for sure, getting some love. I'm sorry, but I think it's time to move on for Kabinda. He's a Swiss Army knife, and he's not good at one thing. I think it's time to move on, but, maybe they keep him. I think I have him on the outside in right now personally, but like you said, Darian, man, Dan Campbell likes Jason Kabinda. He does.
The thing is with fullbacks are not meant to be specialists. If fullbacks were specialists, like if your fullback is a specialist receiver, he'll be used as a receiver. He'll be wide receiver 6 or 7. The whole point of being a fullback is that you can deploy him into a whole set of different situations and get him to do something for you. It's the versatility of the player itself. So if one play you need him in as a fullback to be a lead blocker for a running back, and then you want to put him in at tight end and have it peel off as a receiver, you've got this, you can keep this one guy who can do all these little things for you. It's not necessarily about the speciality with it. I mean, name me any of the fullbacks who have a proper speciality. Some of them, the Patriots one for years, could return it really well. But outside of that, your Swiss Army knife is there to do a wide variety of things, but not necessarily be elite at them. That's the whole point of keeping one.
Mr. Wizard, hashtag Ibrahim or Kabinda. I'm going to take Ibrahim. I think he is better at the bowling ball, the younger guy, the power guy. And I think if you have David Montgomery go down, I think he'd fill in that spot quite well. What do you think?
I'm a massive Mo fan. I love Mo. I would, if you said Mo versus anybody, there's a good chance I'd just take Mo regardless. Like I said, he's the running back we don't have out of these. He is your old-fashioned tank that you send in there time after time after time after time after time and just beat a team into submission through the middle. He's in the Derrick Henry mold. Now, I'm not saying he is. That's big, overreach there, but that's the type of running back he is. You just send him in there to cause chaos. Monty and Gibbs are not like that. So that's why I'd keep him as running back 3. So if it comes down to them two, I'm keeping Mo.
Who is running back 3 and 4? Right now, Craig Reynolds and Justin Jackson. I think that's how it's going on right now. Justin Jackson's starting to take a little flight upward. I think that, with him doing special teams as well, that could give him an edge at that number 4 position. But that's who I have right now, at least what it feels like. What do you got?
I'm going to give a completely biased and unfair answer here because they're guys I like, but I want to take Mo Ibrahim and Jamar Jefferson as my 2 backs. I believe in both of them and what they bring to this team. And it's no against Red. This is just purely personal preference. I would take those 2.
Motor City Dan Campbell, just want to say that I really appreciate you, Micro Mike and Ant-Man. Keep up the good work, you guys. Thank you so much, Ryan Gibson. You are a real one for sure.